Welcome back to Bay Area Focus. Well, kids, gather around. We are going to talk about a really cool book. It's called The Panda Problem, and author Deborah Underwood is here in the studio to tell us more about it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love the cover of this book. It looks so great. And the panda's saying, what problem? I don't see a problem. Okay, so what is your inspiration for this book?
You know, I'm not sure if there was ever a specific inspiration, but pandas are just so adorable, right? So yeah, I kind of been looking for a story to put a panda in, and, a story where the character is a big problem seemed like a good fit because pandas are a little mischievous, I think.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what is the panda's problem?
Well, I will tell you that. So the Panda Problem is a humorous picture book, and I want to point out the illustrations are amazing. They're by Hannah Marks, who's an illustrator who lives in the United Kingdom.
I mean, we can show some of them.
Oh, that would be
obviously
great.
The cover here.
Yes, exactly.
Wonderful.
I know the cover is great. So essentially, as you can kind of see from the cover, the book is a conversation between a narrator who is simply trying to tell a story and a panda who is very excited about being in a story but not particularly interested in doing what the narrator wants.
Okay.
So the panda kind of wrests control of the story from the narrator.
Sure.
And so all of a sudden we have jelly beans raining down from the sky, and we have aliens showing up in a spaceship, and they're in Antarctica. So this poor narrator is desperately trying to get control of this story and build some kind of narrative out of this chaos that the panda has very gleefully created. So.
I mean, I see that. How am I supposed to tell a story if you don't have a problem?
Yes, exactly.
Which is great.
Exactly.
We want to show some more of the illustrations because they are wonderful.
Aren't they?
I mean, look at this.
They're
fun.
They are. And one thing that I really like about this format is that just because the narrator is one part of the dialogue and the panda is the other, I can totally see parents and kids reading this together, right? So the parent takes on the narrator role and the kids going, or maybe they switch for a little role playing,
Right.
So.
I mean, this book, it could teach kids about storytelling as well.
It absolutely does. That's one thing that I'm really happy about, because not only is it a fun story, but it also incorporates some really basic elements of storytelling. So by the time a child reads this book, they will know that a story has a main character and it has a setting, and the main character has a problem that character has to solve. So what I'm hoping is that teachers will be able to use this in the classroom, and that parents and kids will maybe close the book and say, all right, why don't we write our own story? Who's our main character going to be, and what's that main character's problem going to be?
You know, and some kids are more reluctant than others to read, and it almost seems like if they're entertained, if it's humorous, then that might get them more ready to read.
That is exactly right. You know, I just finished a book tour and I had a chance to present to like 2,000 K through 2 kids over the course of a week, which is a lot more condensed than my presenting usually is. And the thing that I really took away from that was when I was reading a funny story and the funny story was up on the screen, those kids were just so engaged and so interested in the story. And I just walked away thinking, I want to write more funny books, because that is the way to get kids pulled into reading.
Sure. Who do you test these stories out on?
You know, I don't test them out on anyone. I try it on my cat, and she does not laugh very much. So it's a little bit discouraging. She's my harshest critic. But no, honestly, a lot of people say, oh, do you write for a specific age? And I frankly write for myself. I think I'm 6, so I write what I think is funny.
And it's great. It's really good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, this is a wonderful book. The Panda Problem, it will be out on April 2nd, right? And you can look for it on Amazon.com and independent booksellers, too.